I'm going to give you guys the key to dating success. I'm going to give you guys the key to fucking life. Honestly, and I don't really believe in like keys or manuals or like selling you on some like next level bullshit, like, you know, change your life with one easy step. Like, and I've always said this and I will continue to say this. It's not about motivation. It's not about the end goal. It's not about passion. It's about discipline, period. If you are not going to force yourself to be disciplined with yourself, you can forget about everything. I'm sure you've all experienced, and it's just like, it's the most annoying thing because you're like, the universe is so counterintuitive and contradictory sometimes, but once you master it, it makes sense. You met somebody out, you exchanged numbers, and you're like, yeah, whatever, cute in the moment. Like a few days pass, completely forgot about this person, suddenly they message you. So you're texting back and forth, whatever, but just like not dying for this person essentially. And this person is putting in a lot of effort in these texts, trying to be funny, quirky, everything's working, being adamant on making plans, like replying promptly, and things are just flowing. This person, you can tell, is putting a lot of effort into texting you or to maintaining this conversation. They're oftentimes asking the questions and whatever. So you can truly tell that they're into you and they really want to get to know you better. And you just start getting hooked on this constant back and forth, and you really like where this is going, and you start to be a little bit more open-minded, and you maybe start to like this person, and suddenly you feel like they take a step back. They're not as eager to respond. They're still responding. They're still putting in somewhat of effort, but it's just not the same as what it once was. I can't not mention that, you know, people might be toxic and be playing stupid games, like they want what they can't have, and suddenly when they feel like you like them, they don't want you anymore, kind of thing. I'm not necessarily talking about that. When you want a boyfriend, when you want a girlfriend, when you want a relationship, a lot of times it's because you tell yourself, well, I don't have it currently. And low kind of like feel like I need it to like feel fulfilled. I want to have kids. I want to get married, whatever it might be. Or maybe you don't, but you just want like a partner in life. We come from a place of lack when we constantly are searching for something, or when we need something, or when we feel like we need a relationship to complete us in some way, shape, or form, or complete our life journey. It's different than it would be nice to have somebody, but if I don't, I'm solid either way. Right? Genuinely. Because a lot of people like to walk out of there and say, yeah, like that's me. Like, I don't care if I end up with somebody. But meanwhile, what are you doing? You're sitting on the motherfucking toilet every night, swiping on your motherfucking Hinge and Tinder apps and dating apps. What is that saying? You know, and I'm not saying to not put in work to meet people. I think it's a very important aspect and part of your life. But when it becomes all encompassing, when it is one of the primary things that goes through your head on a daily basis, that is when things are problematic. And you're probably wondering, well, how do I stop it? Like, I can't help but think about it. Everybody around me is dating. Everybody is talking about dating. I want to have kids. You feed yourself all this shit. It's because, again, it's coming from a place of lack. And this energy, okay? And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, more wishy-washy energy bullshit, whimsical. No, you guys know I'm not like a whimsical kind of person. Like, but I'm telling you, in practice and in actuality, it's not. You can test it yourself. I've tested it. I used to be that way, where it would consume my mind. And then when I stopped doing that and I did what I'm going to tell you to do, it was a game fucking changer. And I just ended up in relationship after relationship. And I've always said this. I was never looking. Every time I got into a relationship, I actually borderline didn't even want to get into a relationship. Do you know what I mean? And it just made sense, and it happened. I was happy too when I was given that opportunity. The reason why these thoughts are going through your mind, and the reason why you're constantly thinking about dating and finding your partner, is because you've prioritized that over all the other things in your life. And sometimes this happens without even realizing. You're just constantly like waiting for that text message, or like scrolling, or like going out just to find guys or girls. That is when you are going to have the least amount of success in your dating fucking journey. So you guys are probably nodding your head because you're now realizing, you're like, oh, word, yeah. Every time I was like on the hunt, I struggled, or it wasn't good, or shit was weird, or like it never panned out, or that person ghosted me, or whatever. It's because when you are coming from that place, like I said, of lack, or I need, or I'm, you know, this is so important to me, and blah, 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 to such a degree, it gives off this energy that is not only desperate energy, which has never been attractive, but it's a very heavy energy that almost makes the other person that you're interacting with, even virtually, feel some sort of immense sense of responsibility in your life already, and they didn't sign up for that yet. They don't know if they want to sign up for that yet, right? Just like when you meet somebody and they're like so into you, you're like, whoa, chill, like red flags everywhere. What's going on? Like, are you love bombing me? What's going on? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you're necessarily love bombing the other person, but when you go around with that vibe, people can read it and will fucking run the other way. Doesn't matter how hot you are. It doesn't matter how cool you are. It doesn't matter how successful you are. Whatever other bullshit you guys want to say that is what makes people attracted to other people. It's this energy. Confidence, sure, is a very important energy too. Not cocky and not egotistical. Confidence. And that comes with a sense of assurance, knowing that you don't really need a partner to survive, but you are open to it. There's a difference between being open and being needy and being desperate. And the one thing that we oftentimes do, I feel like, is lie to ourselves. I lie to myself every fucking like, I have lied to myself for so long. And I was like, I don't need a man. Like, I'm a fucking independent woman. Like, I pay my own fucking bills. Like, fuck, I don't need a man. Like, fuck men. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, what was I doing when I was in that headspace? Trying to book up every single weekend filled with dates. I was trying to like find a man. And it was just so disgusting. And guys were so unattracted to me. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm in the best shape of my life. Like, I'm looking good. What's going on? What the fuck is going on? And then I started to reflect on the times where I was suddenly so appealing to so many guys. Like, I felt like my DMs were blowing up. I felt like I was getting attention from guys when I would go out. It was when I wasn't seeking it. Like, genuinely, when I went out and I was like, I just want to hang out with my girls. I don't want to fucking talk to anybody. Like, or like I just got over a breakup. Suddenly I was hot commodity. I felt like, you know what I mean? I felt like I was so sought after. And I'm not saying that in a cocky motherfucker way whatsoever. I don't like to talk about that shit in that way, but I just want to give you guys an actual example and my experience, because I'm sure that you guys can relate to that as well. It's always when you are not looking that you find. And the reason being is because your mind isn't being occupied by this sort of desperate lack and need for this person because you don't have it and you want it. It's disgusting. And it's a very heavy, uncomfortable energy. So what do you do then? Keep busy. Don't roll your eyes. And a lot of you guys like pretend to be fake busy. Okay, so I'm going to like not respond to his text messages. Like, I'm not going to be as like quick. I'm going to like spend a few hours. Like, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to like reject his call. I'm not going to say yes to the first date because I'm like allegedly busy. Meanwhile, you're sitting on the fucking couch waiting for him to double text you, or you're on the app again. You're lying to yourself. Want to make sure that the insides of you align with what the fuck you're saying, okay? And that's the only time that you will be aligned and shit will work your way. When your mind, your body, your soul, and the shit that comes out of your mouth all are on board. You can't just do this one thing, pour some lemon water, kumbaya, fuck, meditate and take a bath and journal, and that come to fruition. And manifestation and all that shit has become such a fuck whimsical nonsense type of fuck cult almost now. I feel like online, you know, all of these rituals and shit to do. And I'm not shitting on anyone, okay? I'm just saying, like, personally, it's bullshit, right? It all starts with your fucking mind and with your intentions, and then you can do other things that help. But if it doesn't come from inside of you first and foremost, forget about everything else. You know, you think you're putting all of this work, but like, you're just lying to yourself. You're fooling yourself. Keep your shit busy, because what happens is we sometimes over prioritize or just prioritize dating and finding a partner because we're like so desperate for it for whatever reason that we neglect all areas of our lives. Okay. So like, we have other things going on, like what? Like your job, like your career. Great. We already know that. Your family, your friends, your well-being, mental well-being, how's that doing? Well, if your mental is completely occupied by dating and finding somebody, you're obviously not doing well. There's a reason. You don't like to be alone, maybe. That's something you need to work on. Anyways, there's so many areas in your life that you can be dedicating your time and your mental energy to that will benefit you, and in turn make your dating life a more positive experience, a more fruitful, beneficial, successful experience, whatever that looks like to you. Keep busy. That does not mean to ghost and be toxic and play those games like I mentioned. We are still going to be putting in the energy and being ourselves. And if they don't like it, then fuck off. It's not just like fucking, okay, I'm going to be busy and now what? Why isn't my dating life like working out? Again, desperate, lack. You're doing it with hopes of some sort of outcome in your dating life. And that is already problematic. You see where your mind went? That is problematic. So when you focus on other areas of your life and you actually genuinely are busy, what that looks like is, if my dating life takes off and I'm putting in a little bit of energy and effort into that, obviously, I'm still keeping my options open. I go on the dating app once in a blue moon. I go out and I'm approachable and I make conversation where I can and when I can. And I shoot my shot when I'm comfortable, when I want to. then great. Otherwise, I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to sit there and hope. I'm not going to overextend myself or bend backwards or scroll all day and slide into DMs all day. And it's not a numbers game, you know, and a lot of you guys think it is a numbers game, but that's, again, coming from a sense of lack, desperation, and just bullshit, shitty ass energy that will never be attractive. That will always be the reason why you struggle. And if you do find somebody, oftentimes what happens is you're settling and you're not actually happy, and you put up with shit that you don't need to and should never put up with, because you're like, I need it so badly, I want it so badly, so that when you get something that's, no, this could be it, if I close my eye and fucking tilt my head, like this could be it, then you settle. So regardless of how the tables turn for you, if you still come from that mindset, you will forever and always not be winning. If you do not find other things in your life more important than dating. And I have to say, this does not mean to neglect dating. Put your goddamn fucking ego aside. And this is like number one thing too with dating. You think you like deserve, you know, this person. And when you don't get it, you're like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody, or what the fuck is wrong with me? You're either sitting self-loathing, pitying yourself, being upset with yourself, or you're shitting on other people and saying that everybody else is a piece of shit and that men are shit and that women are shit. No, honey. It's actually kind of like damage control from the universe, I believe, where it's just like, nah, this is not going to work out for you till you sort your shit out. Get your shit together, bitch. Shit together. And that's what I'm going to tell you guys. Get your shit together. So what I notice is when I'm like actually busy and I have not only, you know, a job, but I have hobbies. I have things that I'm doing. I have projects. I have other things, other people I socialize with, not just the same friend group. I go and I try and diversify myself. I take little trips for myself, or I do activities I wouldn't normally do. I just really do try and make my life well-rounded. I struggle with that. But with time and in moments where I was focusing on all kinds of areas of my life and trying to do my best in all areas of my life, that's when my dating life was the best. And I didn't even care for it. That's the thing. When you are not so hung up on the outcome is when you succeed, because you are not emotionally super attached or invested to the outcome, not the person. I'm not telling you to emotionally stunt yourself and emotionally be cold and like not feel anything and not get excited and not want things to happen. Like, you absolutely can, but as long as that is not the forefront and the only thing that is taking priority in your goddamn fucking brain. Maybe I'll share a story. Okay, so I went out with one of my girls, and she met this guy, and he was really into her. Like, the whole night was low-key following her around like a motherfucking puppy, was being so sweet, would come out for her for like, you know, little smoke breaks with us and like whatever, and was being really sweet, gentleman-like, got her a ride home, like did all those things, and then followed up with her the next morning to see how she was doing. Just through and through, like perfect on paper for the span of 24 hours. She's like, oh my God, like recalling last night, and he was so cute, and he's like so my type, and like all these things, and getting super excited about him, which again is nice and normal, and it's okay to do that, but with reason, right? She would respond back, and then she would sit there and be like, hey, he hasn't responded. It's been like an hour, 2 hours. Like, he's working. He told me he's working, like this and that. He told me he's going to make plans, never really followed through, blah, like. And again, this anxiety, this eagerness, and I think a lot of it is rooted in anxiety, but that is because you are constantly living in the future, right? That's where anxiety is coming from. It's what's next, and what's going to happen, and the outcome, and oh my God, I need this to happen, and this is, I envision our lives together, and I know he's the one, and this could be it, and you know, I met him going out, and like that's how I wanted to meet my man, like organic. And relax, have fun, get excited. We can have a little girl talk, but then keep fucking busy. Do not let him disrupt what you were doing before you met him. Okay, this is huge. I feel like we pause everything when we meet a guy or a girl that we're into, and we're like, oh my God. And then what happens? That person just never ends up being as into you as they were at the beginning. I'm foreshadowing another video that I'm going to do for you guys about this that will come out after this, hopefully. So it makes sense, because a lot of times, and I'm going to just say it, a lot of times at the beginning, people will, you know, put their best face forward, try and sell you on this like perfect version of themselves. And they kind of overpromise things by overextending themselves or being like this really super high end polished version of themselves, but it's not something they can follow through or follow up with or meet. They can't meet that bar anymore throughout the other interactions, because that really truly wasn't who they were. Your mission after listening to this, after watching this, is to care less about your dating life. Not in a careless way, but just let go of it a little bit. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of us control freaks, because we have been taught that we can control everything, we can edit everything. Whatever's meant for you will be for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let it be. Just let it fucking be. Go easy. Go easy on it, on yourself. Because the only person who is suffering by freaking out and trying to control the outcome or change the outcome or force an outcome is you. You're the only person that ends up fucking suffering, because you sit there up all night writing in your diary and crying out tears about a man who literally is irrelevant right now, or should be irrelevant in your life. So you met him and you went on a few dates. Is he here throughout your entire life? No. You know, were you fine before you met him? Yes. Don't make it something that it's not. Just don't. Just look at the facts. Sometimes what I like to do when I'm in my own head, because guys, I know I'm sounding really harsh and I know I'm giving you some fucking love. I know that you need it though. When I have those moments, which I do because I'm human, I sit my ass down, and I've disciplined myself to doing this. I take a piece of paper and I write out, factually speaking, okay? No bias. And I try and do that. This is the journalist in me. And I try and just write the events that happened and occurred. Point blank. Okay, so he called and he texted me. Great. What does that matter? What is that? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything right now. It does not mean anything right now. Stop reading between the lines all the time. Stop. That's what drives us up the wall, because we fill in the blanks. Because between the lines, we don't have any information. So we fill it in just to make it make sense, to make it fluid, and to go into the next line. But we always do it with a form of bias, with this romanticized version of what it really is, right? So we have to just take a step back and look at things for what it is. I'm not telling you to be super negative. I'm not telling you to not have emotion. I'm not telling you to not be excited. I'm not telling you to not want certain things in your life. You can. But it cannot be this one and only thing that is going to bring you joy and make you feel fulfilled and make you feel whole. Find other things that do that for you, that are more reliable than another person. Find a hobby that brings you joy. Go eat something, then rethink this situation, because a lot of us are impulsive. And we like to ride these emotional roller coasters that we have as human beings without checking ourselves. Sometimes we need to snap the out of these things, out of these moments in our minds, to really see things for what they are. Okay, that's just the name of the goddamn game when it comes to dating, especially when you are emotionally heightened and when you are coming from a place of, I need this, I want this, whatever, this is going to make it or break it for me. This is the final piece to the puzzle of my life. Like, chill. You are breathing without this person right now. Okay. All you really need as a human being is oxygen, water, and food. So why are we so by things that we don't actually need? Like, I literally don't need anybody. I would like people. It's helpful for my well-being, because as human beings, we do crave human interaction, and it is very important to be able to have people in your life. However, I'm not going to die. So why are you acting like this is so important to the point where, like, I might die if I don't have a person? This tip of keeping busy is actually very important in relationships as well. So keep this going. Don't do this until you find someone, you sneaky mother, and think that it's going to work. No, you want to continue it, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up with somebody, and then you suddenly throw everything else out the window, all the things that you enjoyed and cared for and whatever that were important to you or were somewhat in the priority list. And now you're just focused on this one person. What happens? That person again. See you later, right? They become cold. They become dry. They retract, because again, you're giving that energy that this is my everything. You're my everything, bro. That's like a lot for me to handle. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have enough shit on my head and my plate. Like, you're supposed to be lifting me up. We're supposed to be light, beautiful energies together. Yes, we'll have hardships and tough times, and we make a good team, but like, also, I know you got yourself too. So when you're in a relationship too, keep busy. Have time for one another together, undistracted. Prioritize that time. Put in effort, right? But don't compromise all the other things that do such great things for you and to you in your life. I know Right now, it sounds crystal clear and easy. In practice, it will be a lot harder. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that this is going to be easy to master. You just have to find a good little tactic, something that you can discipline yourself and get yourself back into that headspace, whether that be listening to this and watching this again over and over again when you're having one of those moments. I really do highly recommend you do that. So save it, share it, whatever it is that you need to do. Download it just so that you can re-listen to it every time you're going through one of those moments. Get your shit together, my friends. Keep fucking busy, and I guarantee you it is going to change not only your dating life but your entire life. Figure out what your priorities are, what they look like, and what you can do to improve and to do better and be better every single day. That is always like my fucking bottom line message with everything. I hope that you guys learned a thing or two. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you guys back here very soon with sort of like a semi part 2 to this, so you're not gonna want to miss this.